Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Well, in today's episode, we're going to be doing a mussel pasta and a fennel cream sauce. I hope you enjoy this episode. If you need it for pasta, you want to use for a pound of pasta, maybe like 2 quarts. Today, I'm going to use grapeseed oil, which is totally fine. There you go. About a tablespoon. And I'm also going to add a little salt. I don't add a lot, but I add enough so that it flavors the pasta. And it will also help the water boil faster. It's a little Italian trick. Here we go. Now remember, we added the oil and the salt, so it brings it to a boil much, much faster. Now we're going to add our pasta. So you can just add it all at the same time, like this. And as the noodles start to heat up and soften, you'll see that the pasta will drop into the water. Sometimes you have fire coming out from the side, which will burn the pasta. You don't want that to happen. What we're going to do is we're going to grab some tongs and we're going to separate the pasta because we don't want it to stick together. Remember, we put oil in here, and the whole point of the oil is so that the pasta doesn't clump up and stick together. So as you can see, it's starting to boil again, okay? Which is great. Always know that when you add something to boiling water, particularly something like pasta, it's going to stop boiling for a while because the temperature of the pasta is different than the temperature of the water. So it's going to cool the water down. And there's absolutely no need to cover it now. So you want it to turn down, to a slow simmer, and you're just going to let that keep going. And pasta usually takes between 7 to 10 minutes depending on the pasta brand. Now if you had fresh pasta, the pasta would just rise to the top, and if it rose to the top of the water, you would be done. Okay, so we've cooked the pasta for about 10 minutes and it's now al dente, and we've tasted it. I think the most important thing to do is taste it. That's how you'll know. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to strain it. Always strain away from you because the steam, if it gets in your face, do a little at a time. Let the steam go, and then again. The important thing to know is that the arm that's up here gets this steam, and you can burn yourself severely. I just give it a little shake, and then I put it back here on the pot, and see how this knob is stuck together? But if you just go like this, it unsticks. And there you go. No lumpy pasta. This sausage I bought in its casing, and it came pre-cased. I make my own sausage, and I like to use the thinner casing. You can use caul fat. There's many ways that you can case a sausage. I have a hot sausage and a sweet sausage, and you can pull it out of the casing. I don't like to do that. I like more of a unified look, especially if I'm making pasta. I want it to look pretty, and today we're doing a pasta dish. So I'm going to cut it in this manner with little rounds. And the reason I'm going to do that is because they'll cook a lot faster. This is pork, and you definitely want it cooked. And it's also going to release all its fat and its juice as I'm sauteing it with my onions and my fennel. And it releases the juices much, much faster if you cut it up as opposed to just cooking it long ways. And that's why I'm going to do that. So this is how to cut sausage. It's refrigerated. You want it on the cold side before you cut it. When it gets too warm, it gets very, very difficult to cut, and the skin won't cut, so these will all be stuck together, and you don't want that. You want it separated. So this is how to cut sausage. Okay, to start my sauce, I've added the butter and leftover garlic and salt, pepper, parsley from the garlic bread, and that's going to be what's in my pan, which is plenty. I'm going to turn it on to high, and I'm going to add my sausage. That's going to create plenty of oils, and as I cook this down, I'm going to add the rest of my ingredients. So now I'm pulling the sausage out because I don't want to deglaze the sausage with the wine that I have. But as you can see, it's got left this beautiful flavored oil. So as I take all these out, I'm going to then put in my onions, my fennel, and my garlic. And I'm going to cook it in here. Okay, so now I've pulled this off to the side. I've gotten everything. And now I'm going to go with my onions. So, onions, then I have my garlic, my fennel, Oh, if you could only smell this now, you would be so happy. And my, at the end. Ooh, this smells so good. Okay, now we have a little color on our onions, and we're gonna deglaze. Most of the time you wanna move your pan off the flame when you deglaze. And the reason for that is in case a flame comes up, it doesn't get you. So, put that on, back up on. So always remove your pot before you put alcohol in it. Alcohol is combustible. Now we see that this has turned a caramel color, and there's not a lot of juice. So that's reduced, and the reason we do that is because we wanted to get the caramel, the sugar, out of the alcohol. So now I'm going to use some organic chicken stock, free-range organic chicken stock, and this is going to make our sauce. And I'm going to reduce this down probably by half. As a matter of fact, we can add our sausage now because we've already done everything with the wine. So now that the wine has reduced, this is our stock. You don't need a lot, I'll tell you that right now. It smells so good with the sausages and the fennel and the garlic and the onions and the parsley. Everything's coming together and it smells so rich. And when we add the mussels and the cream, it's gonna blend it out a little bit. Add a little garlic bread. You are gonna love this, and it's easy to make. See you in a minute. Okay, so now we're gonna add the heavy cream. As you can see, the pot is reduced a little bit, and just be careful when you add your heavy cream. You don't want it to splatter, so kind of get in there. There we go. And we're gonna let that reduce down by about half, and we should have a nice sauce. Now, we didn't add salt and pepper because the sausage is really salty, the butter is really salty, and the stock is very salty. Even though it's low sodium stock, I didn't make the stock myself, and it's organic, it still comes out salty. So you have to remember, as you're reducing this stuff down, it does get saltier. However, when you put it on the pasta and you add cream, that'll take away some of the salt. Kind of like when you add vinegar and oil to salad, the vinegar doesn't taste as pungent because it dresses the salad. So with that said, don't add salt and pepper until the very end. Make sure you taste it. Into the sauce. Now it's time to add the mussels and put the lid on. This only takes about 5 minutes, not even. Okay, I'm gonna go to 3 minutes. So you're boiling, okay? Now we're gonna add our mussels. We're gonna cover it and shake. Okay, so this is what it should look like. Oh yeah, they're all opening beautifully. So I'm gonna turn this off now and just let it sit. I'm gonna shake it, and I'm gonna get all my plates and stuff together. I'm gonna plate it, and we're gonna show you what it looks like.